That cannot go on the podcast.
Says who? Says you?
Yeah, it says me of all people. I know, but hey.
Hey, Alice. Thanks for coming back to the Mad Tea Party again. I got Grant here with me. Graham, I'm sorry. Got Graham over here, the Viking with the basketball
Norse
shorts.
God.
Oh, yeah.
And then on my left here, I have Gerbil Chris Jackson joining us once again.
Not even for my own band and podcast.
No.
All right.
Gerbil.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That one's not going.
We've explained that enough on this podcast. I'll tell you later.
You're not getting away from this. This
That's
is
fine.
who you are now. This is your identity.
Well, I get when I'm a guest, but I thought maybe
on and off
maybe,
the podcast, every project
maybe for
you
this
do.
one, it would just be
No.
Chris Jackson.
You thought
That's
wrong.
all right. That's all right.
Yeah, you're goddamn right.
You're like, this is my podcast.
And
I'll do
also,
whatever I want.
first time on the show, we have Bergman. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having. Sorry, wait.
And the occasion is these gentlemen have a brand new project called All the Tension. And the guys just released a new single called Deaf.
Yep.
Very aggro, very aggressive. I'm into it. Who also is doing vocals with you on that?
I'm the only one on the recording.
Really? So
Mhm.
you're okay. Then you layered it. You
Yeah.
have two different audio tracks then.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, sounds good.
Thanks, man.
I've heard you do some screamy stuff before, but this is more intense than anything else I've heard you do.
Yeah, in previous recordings, it was sort of early on when I was screaming, and I couldn't do as much at the time. And I've been working to develop that ever since, and I feel like I've gotten somewhere really cool with it. So we're definitely gonna utilize it.
Do you think like debilitating popcorn lung helps your gritty vocals, like raspy?
It doesn't hurt it for sure. I don't know that it helps, but it's fun.
Told heavy smoking helps deep screams.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and just like stamina too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just really good for you all around. That's what I've heard.
For sure.
Yeah, anything you smoke is good for you. You can quote me on that.
Yeah. Well, now when we do it live, like basically these two will both do screams and some vocal stuff, as well as probably our other guitar player Trent.
Cool.
I don't think he does screams. He does is more like singing and harmonies and stuff. But I like when bands have lots of vocal stuff going on, and everybody does some stuff. So
yeah,
and Graham's backing vocals are angelic.
So they're okay.
They're angelic.
It's
like a mix of Fergie and Jesus.
Thank you. Fuck you. Something like that.
Fergie and Jesus. That's good compliments.
He's got beautiful hair like Jesus.
That's fair.
And likes to wash feet with his hair like Jesus too.
He's also white like Jesus.
Yeah, he's almost as white as Jesus.
Yeah.
Right now.
So what do you play in the band?
So in the band, I have guitar, and then I have also the recording, mixing, and mastering.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, so he recorded, mixed, mastered that whole single you heard. Yep.
Well, that obviously wasn't the first time you've done that. How much experience do you have with that?
I've been doing that since I was probably about 18.
Okay.
When I started taking it seriously, and that's when I found my passion for it.
I had no idea. That's super cool.
Yeah, surprising. So, but I've done a couple of other projects before to get my feet wet. That was back home. I'm originally from Wisconsin. Moved out here to pursue this more like as a career kind of deal.
Yeah.
These guys. So,
And now he knows there's no hope.
And now I know there's no hope. I'm doomed.
This
I
is
may
rock
as well-
bottom.
May as well give up now. So, yeah, so this is a great opportunity for me, both as a musician, to pursue that as well as become a mixing master engineer specifically.
That was kind of my next question is like, where did y'all record that?
Yeah, right in my bedroom.
Wow, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, it sounds good. That recording, I was like, holy shit, where'd they go to do this?
That's
So
awesome.
thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Literally recorded the vocals just standing next to his computer. Didn't even go to a isolation booth or anything. We were like, it sounds good. Like, there's whatever.
Do you have it set up for that? Kind of?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the room itself, isn't soundproof, but there's enough in there where there's not like a ton of echo or anything interfering with it. So plus I've got plenty of stuff that helps with that. So
Gotcha.
Chris really enjoys it for scratch tracking. He was literally laying down covered up in the last session we were doing.
he was getting more use out of my bed than I do.
Oh, you're damn right.
Yeah, he really was.
Yeah, I was pretty tired. I did the Something in Your Mouth Nickelback tribute band practice, and then went over to his house to we're tracking in a new song, a couple new songs.
You have this other project. I was just talking, I think it was Cordy. I can't remember who I was talking to. They were like, damn, that's really ballsy of Chris to start a band and then also announce a cover band like within a week of each other or something like that.
None of that like was really in my intention to do
Yeah.
in that way, but I just sort of
I
happened
did
to.
the exact same thing just backwards. I joined a Limp Bizkit cover band, and then a week later he says, "Hey, I got this project starting up. If you're interested once we get things rolling with that."
Yeah, so if
Nice.
you've heard
So-
of them, My Generation, the Limp Bizkit cover band, he's the bass
Okay.
player.
Right on. What, do you play bass in all of the tension?
I do, yes.
Okay.
I play bass and provide all around bullshittery.
Gotcha.
And
What-
excellent writing skills. He can really write, especially guitar. Fucking bass player can write some guitar parts over here too. The next song that we'll release is called Faster and Faster, and he wrote all the music for it.
Gotcha. So you're just doing vocals and lyrics, I guess?
I write music too, but for like when we play live, ideally I'll mainly just do vocals, but I will do keys
Okay.
on some songs.
He did
Trying to
write
limit.
the bare bones of Death.
Mhm.
The structure of Death was written by him.
Yeah.
Okay.
He sent it to me, and then I put the rest of it together.
Gotcha. So, okay. So you had the bass idea and then you just kind of expanded on that.
Mhm.
Very cool.
And recorded it, put everything together, and then I just came in and did vocals, which was great.
Nice. Made your life easy.
For sure. I was like, all right, this is fucking awesome.
That's super cool. I remember you telling me about getting this project up and going maybe like over a year ago, probably. So
Around that time, yeah.
it's cool to see it
2011.
actualized. I like what you're doing. It's a vibe.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming, kind of. Because when I started talking to you about it, it was really just an idea.
Yeah.
I had like maybe a song written or two for it, or maybe a few in the tank ideas that I was like, I want this to be for this project. And process got slowed by stuff going on, and also just putting the right pieces together.
Yeah.
Because I definitely didn't want to rush that part of it.
Yeah. It's cool to see you cut loose because you've been restricted in other endeavors you've done throughout the years.
It's true.
And it's I've always been a fan of unfiltered Chris Jackson. Sorry, Gerbo Chris Jackson.
Well, we got one in there.
I'm gonna be asking
Yeah.
about this later.
I'm gonna
Oh.
recut the podcast where I cut out all the times he says Gerbil Chris.
Well,
Every time he
definitely.
says Gerbil, he
and
just says
crudely just put
Starburst.
in where he says Chris Jackson. Starburst.
Starburst,
Yeah.
Chris.
We can. Alice knows the lore
He's
already,
Starburst.
but we'll definitely talk about it later. But I would appreciate y'all guys' support in helping this to catch on. Anytime you introduce Chris to someone, it's Gerbil Chris. I'm trying to get it. I need
I'm
y'all's
probably gonna change
support.
his name on my phone. To,
Hell yeah, dude. That's what I'm talking about.
I'm gonna put a picture of Lemmywinks as his contact photo.
I like this guy.
I
right,
told
you
you
know
all
what?
around bullshittery.
I've been on the podcast enough. You guys just take it.
So, what kind of music was in the house when you were growing up? We'll kind of go around.
For me, early '90s punk. I'm from like Graham, he's from Wisconsin. I'm from Northern Illinois, so I was in the Chicago hardcore punk scene. My old band opened for Fall Out Boy before they were Fall Out Boy. Same thing with Rise
Super
Against. Yeah, I don't talk about it that much. People are like, cool guy. Who's your band? And they're like, yeah, the Ramones, Offspring, any of that early like 80s, 90s punk, then transitioning into pop punk and metalcore as I grew older.
Yeah.
Did your parents listen to that stuff?
No.
No.
Well, my dad did. My dad was the first one that introduced me to the Offspring.
Oh, super cool.
And that's kind of where my love of punk music started in general. Just power chords, fast times, and scratchy vocals. It's never. I don't think it gets any better than that.
Yeah. Oh, it's an era of music.
Mm-hmm. They've stayed routinely good throughout the years. You pop up the Offspring. I think they released a song a couple months ago.
Really?
Yeah, it's, the singer sounds just as good as he sounds older, but he sounds just as good as he does when Smash or Americana came out.
He's a monster. Good luck any vocalist trying to sing his stuff.
So I literally cried when I heard his piano cover of Gone Away.
I've never
I
heard
saw it when they played it at Brooklyn Bowl. I think it was like a year ago now, maybe two, and they released it. As soon as I heard it, I was like, this has got to be a released cover of it. And they actually have a studio version of it. It's fucking fantastic. There's nothing but him and piano all the way through. And then from there, I got to start getting to the heavier stuff. From there, like, all right, a Day to Remember, I feel like everyone's gateway to like heavier music when we were younger.
That was me.
I started out. Homesick is still fantastic. I listened to that album front to back.
Heavy music really is like such a gateway drug. I feel like Silverstein was my gateway drug because I was into EMO.
Did you know they remastered Arrivals and Departures?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, they didn't like 2 years ago. They remastered it.
I'll have to check it out.
I found this out this morning actually.
I love their stuff, and I love their new stuff. Like they're still coming out with stuff. Like that album they came out with a couple of years ago. So
weren't you and I at the same show too at the Cowan, like the Hawthorne Heights? And
we had talked about it.
Yeah.
We didn't know each other then, but like we were at that.
You say Offspring and Hawthorne Heights?
No,
sorry,
Silverstein.
and Hawthorne Heights.
Oh, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I could see a universe where they do a show together, but
God, I miss Warped Tour. That would have happened on the Warped Tour.
that would have happened. Yeah.
I went to the very last Warped Tour here. Took my little sister.
Wow.
Yeah, she was really into Pierce the Veil.
Oh, yeah.
Good
I was like,
Pierce the Veil's another gateway drug for folks. I was already into it when they came around, but
and I was supposed to go to the When We Were Young festival when they reunited for like a first show back. But going to Vegas is a commitment. Like if you have 3 weeks notice, and I couldn't get off work.
yeah. Can you believe Chiodos is going to be at this one?
Yeah, it's gonna be so
With
fantastic.
Craig?
Yeah,
It's going to be so fantastic.
So there's a whole background story there. I'm not saying Craig Owens is bad. I'm just saying I did not mind their new vocalist during the Illuminato thing. And this is a whole argument between it. It's the sole reason why I keep playing NYB comic rehearsals.
It's really deeply down because of the whole Brandon versus Craig debate. I'm a huge Chiodos fan, and I was devastated when Craig left, and when they kicked him out, rather. Then they got this guy Brandon, whatever the fuck, to replace him. I was like still so devastated. I listened to it, and I'm like, he does sound really good, but I can't like listen to this shit and buy in.
yeah.
So I never got into it. I brought it up, and he's like, before he even like I said really anything about it, he's like, oh man, like Brandon's like way better than Craig or something like that. Like I missed that era or something to that effect. Maybe not that.
I said his hooks and choruses were catchy.
And
Illuminato is a catchy album.
It's just caused a deep rift between us now, but that's all right. I think we can move on.
This band is doomed to fail from the beginning. It's
we're
like
both gonna start two different Chiodos cover bands.
yeah,
One from,
yeah.
one from two different eras. Graham, I'm starting to cover band.
Oh,
Graham, you're joining my Chiodos cover band, all right? I knew him first.
you guys know that story in the Bible where there's the two women fighting over the baby? You know the story?
I vaguely do remember this, yes.
So there's No.
Do I look religious to you?
I promise this ties in. There is this story where these two women are brought before King Solomon, and they're like, one of them's like, "This is my baby," and the other one's like, "No, it's my baby." And Solomon's like, "I got a solution. We'll just cut it in half, and you can both have it." And then one of the women is like, "No, don't kill my baby. I'd rather it live than, me not have it." And so he's like, "Okay, well, you're the real mom." And the other one's obviously the fake. That's what you guys are doing to Graham
I get the bottom
right
half.
now.
Like, you guys were looking at me. I'm sitting over here like, is he suggesting I can cut in half?
Dibs on the bottom half.
Oh, yeah,
Dibs on the
is that
bottom
what
half.
he's insinuating?
I'll take a torso. That's a
Yeah.
nice torso.
Yeah, that's,
I can work with that.
You guys, okay? You wouldn't let one of the other have it. You'd both just
No,
cut
no,
it.
no,
No, we can share.
we'll cut them in half.
yeah.
Sorry, Graham.
Hey, maybe the top half can still play guitar. So,
Yeah, that's fair.
It's like
Bottom half.
animatronic,
but the bottom half still,
That,
also useful.
also very useful.
Multi-purpose.
Yeah, multi-purpose. So
So it gets the ladies.
it's an even trade. That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
We'll trade torsos. I'll start off with our halves, and then we'll trade sooner we like better. Then we'll go from there.
All right.
It's a fluid situation.
Okay, I'll drink to that.
Yeah, cheers to cutting Graham in half.
Nah.
Hey, cheers.
Grab
And he
it.
doesn't-
Yeah.
Why not,
All
right?
right,
Yeah,
there you go.
yeah,
That's the
yeah.
spirit. That's the spirit.
So what music did your parents listen to when you were growing up?
So, my father was actually in a classic rock band for a long time, basically since he was in like middle school or something like that. I know he opened for bands like Quiet Riot, guys like that, way back in the day, yeah. So I guess he was my introduction to that type of music anyway. Obviously, he doesn't listen to the heavier stuff. That's kind of where he was limited. So my start was like, we had a butt rock show coming up. My start was that. My start was like 3 Days Grace, Skillet, all those guys. And then I must have skipped over the pop punk scene right away because I went straight to the death metal scene.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
It was not really a gateway for Graham. He just
Yeah,
busted right on through.
No, it
Full
was just a
I guess-
whole.
Butt rock's kind of a gateway a little bit.
A little. Yeah.
Like I feel like Bullet for My Valentine. Is that what they call them? They're like
Is
Yeah.
that butt rock? I guess it is, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it is.
Damn,
Because I'm actually surprised your
Damn.
Betrayal was not on the set list for this butt rock night, right?
A
Coming
little
up,
bit. Yeah.
that is butt rock. Holy shit.
It's okay. Graham and I are on the greatest song that's ever been
We
written
sure are.
in general. 3 Days of Grace and Why I Become.
Yeah, man. Great.
Yeah, no, I love that song.
When is that taking place? When are y'all doing
May
that?
18th.
May
And that's
18th?
when Something in Your Mouth will debut.
Okay, I'll make sure this is out before then.
All right, perfect.
Yeah, so let's talk about that for a minute. So
All right.
you're in a Nickelback cover band.
I mean, honestly, something I would have never thought that I would ever fucking
Even
say.
6 months ago, would you have said that
Right.
6 months ago?
No, right, no, for real. And then I would be fronting a Nickelback cover
And not only are you in a Nickelback cover band, but it's called Something in Your Mouth.
band.
Well, first of all, if it's gonna be a Nickelback cover,
Yeah,
It's
fair
gotta
enough.
have
that
a
is
great
the
name.
only name that is acceptable.
Are you guys in this
I actually
project
am.
too?
No. we know all the people that are in the project though. Like it's the show that we're talking about, the butt rock night. It's kind of how at least how I met all these guys.
Mhm.
And that's just a
And
lot
how I
of
met
musicians
all of
getting
them.
together doing covers for good causes.
Yeah. I've been to some of those. Those are cool.
Yeah, Cadence, do you know him? He's a young drummer, and he's in a band called Cadence. And he's the front man of that band, but he's a really good drummer, and he fucking loves butt rock. Like he's obsessed with it, unashamedly. And he's like 21 years old.
Like Buck Cherry.
So it's like you didn't even grow up.
Buck Cherry.
I mean, like I guess he did, just not in the same way. Like he wasn't there when like it was in its prime.
Sure.
I feel like, but he just unashamedly loves it. Like Hinder and Nickelback are his favorite fucking bands ever,
Hell yeah, dude.
and fucking loves it.
And that's
So-
he's in
Yeah, oh yeah,
okay.
yeah. He started it really
Okay.
because
No, he's
He had
like,
the
guys,
idea
let's
to
do a
do it.
Nickelback cover band. He's like fucking hyped for it.
He talked to JP, the bass player, they ended up talking to Mike, who put on the Butt Rock show, and he puts on some of the other cover shows we do, and asked if he'd be down to play guitar for it. And they came to me. I was actually at the David Bowie cover show that John Nicholson put on, and they approached me and was like, "Would you be down to front this Nickelback tribute band?" And I was like, "Yeah."
And I don't mind Nickelback, but I have my own reasons for not liking them. Not for the popularity thing that's popular hitting Nickelback. I don't like them because they stole Avril Lavigne from Sum 41.
Which I found
What?
out that and you might have told me about this, but Sum 41 does a cover
Yeah.
of "This Is How You Remind
Really?
Me," and they did it like right after she left.
Avril
for
Lavigne used to date
Chad
the lead-
Kroeger.
no, he used to date Derek Wembley, lead singer of Sum 41. She broke up with him and started dating Chad Kroeger. Now I don't know if they're still together.
They're
My
not.
own animosity won't allow me to look into that.
He was a skater boy.
Yeah.
She said, "See you later, boy."
But he's still rocking. I think MTV.
I guess
Oh man.
MTV is still around.
Nah, somehow.
Yeah.
What a
If Burger King is still around, so can MTV.
They're
It's
just
two chains that are shade of their former glory.
They're just playing reruns of Next and Room Raiders. I remember those shows.
They come off the
Womb
bus and they
Raiders.
say
Womb
Next.
Raiders.
Oh,
that was the
show
that was
with
the
guy with-
Cinemax version.
Was that the show where the girl went into the guy's room looking for reasons not to date people?
Yeah.
God, I want a 2024 version of that.
Yes, I loved those dating shows. I mean, I was a teenager, so it was right up. I was the
MTV.
demographic.
MTV
I miss
reality
MTV's
television.
Made.
Yeah.
The first episode I ever saw that was with Ryan Key and Yellow Card. They made some,
No way.
and yeah, some people have never played music do Ocean Avenue in front of the entire high
Oh,
school of like 1,000 people. Which I was in high school. You don't get 1,000 people. That's how growing up. They're like, oh, those are staged. 1,000 people don't even go to the local high school football game. All
Right.
to see their
But they go
there's
see
there's 5 people.
Yellow
but-
Card.
Nah.
Man,
Right.
Yellow Card was a big one for me growing up.
Fucking loved Yellow,
Yellow
man.
Card.
That
and Good
violinist,
Charlotte.
dude. I mean, that was like plenty of people had violins in their music, and nobody had the fucking violinist
Yeah,
like him. Like he,
Yeah.
you know what? It was like,
iconic.
yeah,
It's like
and
iconic.
pop punk too. You know.
I think
But it
everything gets
works.
extra points if you have a violin. Same with like brass. Like if you have a trumpet in your band, doesn't matter what genre, it gets additional points
For
having
sure.
a trumpet in it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Speaking of trumpets and stuff in bands, so the Nickelback tribute band,
Yeah.
we have 3 trumpet players actually.
What the fuck?
What?
No, I'm just kidding.
What the fuck?
Like, okay.
Dude,
You ska back?
you
there?
got me. You got me.
We have no trumpet players,
Got 'em.
but it's gonna be awesome. So you better be there. May
Yeah.
18th. You too, Alice.
Do you have
Fucking
any
bitch.
All the Tension shows coming up?
No, we don't have any shows booked out right now. We're
Cool.
still kind of in early phases. We wanted to, when we like announced the band and put it out there, have a single out
Yeah.
to just,
I
I
guess
feel like
you
there's
gotta
plenty
have
of
to have
bands.
music written first. Yeah.
There's plenty of bands that I see that come out and say, we're like, we've formed this band and we're gonna have music one day. And it's like, okay.
Yeah. You
Like,
came
let
out
me know
the
when you
gate.
have something. Yeah, you know?
You came out the gate swinging. You got
Yeah,
But
a
I was
single
like,
out.
let's have something. That way, like, people have something to like give a shit about. Because they don't give a shit about a logo or our faces as much.
Low key, I give
They
a
don't give a
shit.
shit about the music either. But
Low key, I
know-
give a shit. I
Like
liked
that.
it. I like that. It's
I wish you would high
It's not that we don't-
like it. It's okay that you low key. Like
Don't
it,
tell
I guess.
anybody.
Okay. I'll take that.
on God, for real,
real.
no cap.
Yeah.
It's a good song.
What other phrase? Gas. I
There
hate
you
that
go.
phrase.
That's the gas.
I hate that phrase so much.
Speaking of gas,
Nickelback.
did you? No, do you-
I looked over
Oh.
at it.
we have a lighter.
I don't.
I'll get one.
All right.
But
We'll just
tell
take
me
it.
about starting with Bergman. What have you been listening to in like the last week?
The last week I had just real friends. I've been on a huge Midwestern emo kick.
Okay, I was gonna say, is that a band or you just like? I've just been listening to my real friends.
No, it's literally
The past
real friends.
I was like, I don't
songs.
feel like he's been listening to me. So
There's
am
no
I,
way
am I
he's been
not a
listening to
real
you and
friend?
I know. Like the Wonder Years kind of band,
Oh,
Midwest
okay.
emo.
I like
all
Wonder
the
Years.
just intense guitar, really whiny lyrics, and I fucking love it.
Right on. Are you feeling extra emo in the last
I'm always emo, man. I just dress like a prep still because I don't know who I am inside.
Yeah, you look great.
No,
It works
thanks,
for
dude. Just real friends. With the Silverstein, Arrivals, Departures remaster. I listened to that as well. That was my playlist on the way over here. And a lot of it is the Limp Bizkit a lot, so I have to keep up to date with the songs, so I can remember how to play them whenever my generation shows happen.
Would you like to?
I'll pass for right now. Thank you.
Cool. Bergman turns into a rock whenever he.
Yeah,
smokes, so-
I can only. I'm not sure what kind of smokers you guys are, but I'm the kind of smoker. I have to be at home when I do it, because if I took a hit of that, I'd be like,
You want to talk the rest of the time.
yeah, so give me a beer.
Actually, you should take a hit or two. Then.
Maybe that'll shut you up.
take a hit of this.
There you go.
These
clouds
nuts.
over here.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why that warranted gunshots. That's good. You should do rap ad libs.
I might. I do a little rap here in all the tension.
Let's start.
So
Let's start a hip hop project,
All right.
We'll take
and
another
you'll
one of
do
these then.
just ad libs.
Jeff's got the little like kind of rap
Yeah,
section.
yeah.
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 I've got a couple other songs that have. They're not gonna have like rap beats, but I will do some rap in here. Kind of like a new metal.
Like Hollywood.
What do you call new metal that comes out now?
Old metal.
Because like
New.
I feel like there's rap metal nowadays, but they don't call it new metal anymore. They only call new metal the stuff from.
I got a song to
the
show
era.
I
you.
never thought about that. New metal was like 2003 to like 7.
Yeah,
and then
and
it
it's
just
gotta
nobody ever
be
said it
then.
again.
Yeah, but you can't
Yeah.
call like. So I would say that Falling in Reverse is kind of new metal.
Is Deftones new metal?
100%. Yeah.
100%. They're like staple new metal, right?
Yes, and
Okay.
and a lot of people wonder about that, but it's because especially their early albums, they did have a lot of like rap rock stuff. But people
I
think
love
of like
Deftones.
songs like Changes and some of their other big hits, and they're like, that's not really new metal. And I would kind of agree with that. It was more like
Yeah.
just kind of the alternative rock that was around at the time.
My introduction to new metal was Linkin Park's Minutes to Midnight.
But,
Yeah,
And
like,
then they
yeah.
changed it to do the whole new metal album, they essentially.
But there's a sick fucking song on.
That was the first time I ever heard him sing, was during his cover of Give It Up.
Oh man. Was it at the Linkin Park show?
That was the first time I ever saw you. What song after you?
I did.
That's not
No,
here-
it
that's
was
not here
No
now.
More Sorrow,
That was it.
which
That
is
was
like actually like formatically just like Giving Up. I mean, it is the same format as Giving Up. Even like they do like these chromatic breakdowns all the time, and it's all like very similar. Right, yes, exactly. It's rad, but like they use it a lot. But I dig it. I dig it for sure. I forgot what else I was gonna say.
What have you been listening to, Graham?
Sorry, I got you off track there.
The-
Sorry.
Complete opposite
No,
of
it's
what
okay.
I rewrite.
I just realized.
Not really. Not complete opposite. I usually stick to my roots with my Swedish death metal, melodic death. I'm a big melodic metal guy, especially as a guitar player. I like when the guitar is kind of doing things. I listen to a lot of instrumentals. Plenty of guitar players like Andy James, Nita Strauss. The list goes on and on. So I usually just keep listening to a lot of that. It's either that or it's like late 2000s white girl music.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, would
Yeah,
you
like
like
such
to
as-
elaborate on that? Like, what?
Yeah, I go on.
Lady
Please.
Gaga, Katy Perry,
Yeah.
things like that.
Okay, he's got to balance it somehow,
Yeah,
right? So he's
it's
goes to
either-
one extreme.
Yeah, it's
You like
either-
melody.
Yeah, I like melody. I'm a big,
Yeah.
big
Okay.
melody guy. So it's either, melodic death metal or it's white girl music.
Oh,
There
yeah.
is no in between.
That's awesome.
The in between is all the tension
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah,
He-
That's my in between.
So funny point about that. Like, so Graham doesn't really listen to pop punk, like he sort of referenced earlier. Given the song that you've heard, you might not know, but we also do like a lot of our stuff is kind of like more pop punk. And there's one song in particular, probably our most pop punk song.
I know you know exactly. This is
It's called "Ruin This Song," and it's a fun like pop punk song. Uh, it's great. It's a bit like quite the other way from what Death is, but it's fun. It's gonna be great. I really enjoy it, and we're practicing it. And Graham says, kind of out of nowhere, like "Ruin This Song," I think is my favorite song of all the songs we have.
Yeah.
Let me.
And I was like,
Chris audibly gasped.
I'm good.
And because he was close up with the mic, he audibly gasped. From
Dude.
that one.
I did. I was. And now every time I think about it, I feel like I have the same fucking reaction.
Like, oh my
I'm just
God.
like, I could not believe what I was hearing. I was like, this man that doesn't even really like pop punk, he says this is his favorite fucking song. I'm like, that must mean our other songs are that fucking bad.
Wow. Yeah.
Or "Ruin the Song" is just that good.
This is his favorite song because it's the only one he doesn't hate.
Which I can't believe,
Dude,
because
the
he doesn't
crazy
even really
thing.
like pop punk.
Oh man.
That's my favorite song because whenever we release it, the very end of it is something I have literally never heard in music before, and it's gonna be very fun when it's released.
It's perfect.
I was
Let me
at
just say that it's fitting to the title,
Yeah.
but I'll let the actual
yeah,
thing
when
be
we
a
release it,
surprise.
people will hear it. It's my favorite ending for a song, literally ever.
It's
I've
it's
never
fun.
heard
It's a
anything.
fun
I'm excited.
song. I think everyone will really get a kick out of it. It has I feel like a cool meaning to it
Nice.
as well, and
That's Ruin the Song, right? That one? Okay.
yeah,
Cool. I can't wait to hear that.
it'll be fun.
Wait, so have you mixed all these?
I'll be recording.
Oh,
these
you're
and
just
mastering all of
you're
them.
being
yeah.
smart about it. You're releasing them
Mhm.
incrementally.
I think
Yeah.
I think our plan is to release "Ruin the Song" and "Faster Faster" like around the same time,
hmm
if not at the same time. But if we could talk about that later.
I feel like that might be okay. So when we talked about that the other day, I've been thinking about it. Hey, why not talk about it now? Fuck it, whatever. Little inside, whatever.
Yeah, it's just us.
Yeah.
It's just us and Alice.
Us and Alice. That's
No,
right.
there's no one else here.
Uh,
Alice can keep a secret.
I thought about that,
There's no one else
especially
in this room,
because
guys.
we sort of unconventionally.
Is
just-
Alice here right now?
Where? Show me on the beer can where you see it.
Alice is watching us. You see, like at all times. And that.
This creepy
thing
little
right
girl
there.
standing over there,
Oh, okay, I see you now. Okay.
always watching. You're releasing these two together.
Maybe I don't
Yeah,
know. We
maybe. Yeah,
haven't
we-
exactly landed on that, but I was just saying like could be a good idea because hey, shit, we sort of unconventionally just came out with our single as we announced the band. Why don't we also just unconventionally release two songs at the same time?
Yeah.
Faster
Yeah.
and faster, and Ruin the Song.
I was just talking to Neef the other day. Like I can't remember what the idea was exactly. Oh, we were talking about setting up shows. Well, I shouldn't give the idea away, but
You've gone too far.
it's too late now. You're right. I'm committed. It's okay. He doesn't listen to the show. He won't know.
It's kind of like how I just brought up the idea of releasing two songs and we haven't talked about it yet. I've already committed to talking about this now. So.
We were
Yeah.
we were talking about like things that aren't exactly good ideas. Like we're talking about doing like variety show sets, like have comedians and music, which is not, if you think about it, it's not generally a good idea because you're talking about like what if you really fuck with this band but you really don't fuck with that comedian or vice versa. It's like I went and saw that comedian but the band sucked. Like I don't like that kind of music. Like when you mix things too much like that, it's not, you're setting yourself up to have like a divided crowd basically. But it's a good idea if no one's done it yet. You're the only one doing it. It's niche, right? So
I
it's
mean,
like,
I love the idea already.
yeah. Even if
I have a few comedian friends, I would love that because they, outside of like zanies and their open stage mics, their nights is not much of a stage for stand up comedy for like local stand up comics in the city. I love that idea.
we have a couple of good ones here, but there's not a lot. It's not like Nashville's a comedy town exactly. I'm aware of a couple like
all of it.
I really
Nashville
like.
comedy is like Zanies and the Nashville Comedy Fest,
Mhm.
and the occasional stand up. The big ones they have at Bridgestone or Rhyme, and those that's
Yeah.
about all I really know.
Yeah, it would be good just to give a platform to comedy in general, but I don't know. Maybe you guys are right. Maybe it'd be a good idea to just mix music in with that as a way to draw attention to these comedians that like as a way for them to kind of come up if they're because there's probably not any crossover. I feel like the people that go to maybe that's more genre tailored, but I think if you go to a rock show, like all the tension, maybe you don't. I don't know. It's hard to say what kind of comedy you'd like out of that. Who do you put with that?
Yeah.
I mean, I think depending on the kind of band, like the
It has to be an edgy
I think
comedian.
it's could be a good segue into it because a lot of band like banter is almost something stand-up comedy in between, like improv stand-up comedy between this kind of leads into a stand-up comic and then into another band.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it would have to be someone really edgy.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
And you could build the show around that too. Like you would have
Edge
like,
fest.
Yeah.
everyone's
All right,
edging.
There it is.
Requirement is you have to work yourself up to orgasm and then stop like 10 minutes before you enter the venue.
I can see Omen.
See, and that's
Burger
cross
making
advertising.
it.
Straight edge kids might
Right,
think,
yeah.
ooh, I'm into that.
Yeah, dude, right, yeah.
That's cross advertising.
You'd have a couple different parts of the demographic there, but it could
Well,
work.
then,
Omen
You
Burger.
have three X's down the advertising poster, but it's like you widen your audience right there.
Omen Bringer could headline,
Yeah,
right? I'm sure they'd be
Edge
down.
Fest.
Yeah, I'm actually
dude,
wearing
they'd be so
Omen
down.
Bringer shirt.
Yo, shout out to Omenbringer playing
Shout out
this
to Omen
Friday.
Bringer.
Not when
Oh.
this goes up, but this
Okay.
Friday
Interesting. Yeah.
with Hussy Fit.
At
The
Cobra.
Cobra.
the Cobra.
The Cobra.
Many good times at Cobra, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm saying it like a surfer. Like, you going to the Cobra?
Oh, okay, but no one calls it the Co.
It's just the
unfortunately.
Co.
I love Australian
Nah.
accents. You know us the same way us. I wasn't how they do. The way Americans say "rise up lights" is the same way Australians say "rise up lights."
Rise of lights.
Ooh.
Rise of lights.
Ooh,
Rise of lights.
damn, that's true.
That's fun.
Those are the same thing.
Nah.
They don't understand the difference.
Oh, one I heard was whale beef
They're too
hooked.
stupid.
If you say whale beef hooked, it's like lol beef hooked in Irish. Whale beef hooked.
What a dumb dialect.
Damn, Alex.
Who talks like that?
That's
Like,
so
seriously,
offensive.
get your shit
Look,
together.
we've got Graham here.
Yeah, that's
I'm
my
basically
only
Look how
heritage.
offended he is.
This
Look
fucking
how,
Mick.
Look how red he
You think
is.
I wear this red beard for fun?
Oh wait, Alex is always, or not Alex.
What?
Graham is always red.
Oh,
He's a red motherfucker.
Shorts are so red too.
With red skin and his red hair and his red shorts.
I didn't even know you were wearing shorts because your legs are so red. It's the same cut. Where
British
did
or not.
the shorts start and where does the leg begin?
That's for me to know.
It's about the British. I don't know.
So hard segue.
Nice.
You guys have any
Thank
ghost
you.
stories? And when I say ghost stories, I mean like, have you ever seen anything or experienced anything you can't rationalize?
I do. I have
Ooh.
a few like small little ones that people are like, oh, that's kind of weird. The only other one I have is Graham has probably heard of the venue being from Wisconsin. I'm not sure you guys have. There's a venue in Milwaukee, Wisconsin called The Rave. It's a multi-story, multi-venue complex. Depending on the bands, they'll have them in different rooms or like on the top floor for the biggest band, room which I think holds like 8,000 people or something on the top floor. For that, the backstory of this, I forget why it is, but there's certain parts of it that are incredibly haunted. One of them, like being like the pool, is it's like Graham, do you remember hearing any of these stories at all? Like what it is haunted about?
With the pool, that's
Yeah, like the pool. Like for me, it's just the boiler room. The boiler room is supposed to. Anyway,
the
that's
boiler room is definitely the most popular.
yeah, because like so my buddies are in the Color Morale. They're a bigger metalcore band, so they play at the rave. Like I would go and hang out with them backstage, and the promoter and concert or the venue owner like, hey, you guys want to go to the boiler room? And they're like, sure, why the fuck not? Oh, we get down there. I'm like, be with their front of it, kind of going through. I'm like, this is just a boiler room. I don't see what the fuss is about. It's eerie lighting. The noise is weird. And that guy was kind of thinking, I was probably trying to look for reasons, not to like like, I don't believe it's haunted shit or some shit like that. I don't. But like a couple minutes into it, I felt like this weight on my shoulders. A little. I don't know how to explain more, and it just got progressively worse. It really felt like there was a person pressing my shoulders and pushing me downward. And that just sort of like came out of nowhere, like right then and there. I was like, I gotta get out of here. I'm fucking leaving. I'm out.
Whoa,
Right?
that's pretty
It's
wild.
intense, man.
Yeah, like I literally felt like someone was like over me, like pushing me down. And I was like, I'm not about this anymore. I'm leaving
These-
immediately.
These things are always really interesting to me because of the implications. And in retrospect, what do you think about that situation when you look back on that?
It's a really good question.
There's just some things you can't explain,
Mhm.
and that you go with blind belief.
Yeah.
Or the reason, like, even if I don't like sort of same thing, kind of stretching out there, like things you can't explain. Like, I won't ever like comment on someone's religion. If you believe that, who am I to question your own beliefs?
Yeah.
Kind of like, who is anyone to question what I felt in that moment in that boiler room?
No, yeah. No, I mean, what do you think?
Oh, what do I-
If it's an entity
oh,
of some kind, what do
okay.
you think that is? Like, what, I guess, what do you believe about it?
I don't know what to make of it because it was such a quick situation, and I was like, I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
I was like,
I don't know is a great answer. I think more people should buy
Yeah,
into just saying, I don't know.
that, like,
Right.
yeah, just a feeling I had. Like, I didn't like the feeling.
Mhm.
I think it's probably the closest to I could get.
Right.
to
It's like
actually
negative.
answer
It's
to that.
oppressive.
Yeah.
Has a
I guess,
connotation
I
of not
guess
good
the
for
feeling
you.
for it, like the feeling I felt in my shoulders was like just like sort of like a get out kind of feeling.
Mhm.
You said, I don't know is a good thing to say. I feel like I don't know is the whole basis of my religion.
Yeah.
Which is agnosticism.
Yeah.
Which literally means without knowledge.
I think
It means I don't fucking know, man.
I'm glad you presented that as a religion because that also
Yeah, it
requires
counts.
faith, which makes it
It requires a sort of faith. They all do.
yeah. No, for
It-
sure.
Yeah. It requires a faith in nothing similar to atheism, but I feel like maybe more. Not necessarily
Atheism's a bit more
optimistic.
absolute. I feel.
Yeah, and that's
That's like
my
that- that's
like
like there's
difficulty
nothing.
with it.
Yeah, it's
like,
either yeah,
I-
it's
I don't like.
Being agnostic means like
Believe
there's like
in
I
that.
believe there's something there, but I don't. Right? That's what it
Yeah.
is. Like,
agnostics like I
more
don't
s-
have an opinion on it
Yeah.
because it could be anything basically. Like I have no
Yeah.
just admitting I don't know what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
Kind of I think because you can be agnostic towards like God the same way you can be agnostic towards like evolution, for example.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
you're just basically saying you're not buying into
I'm
whatever
not
it is.
buying into any of it.
Yeah.
Any of your shit.
That's not a bad one.
Yeah.
I think mine is kind of similar, but not like also kind of the opposite, where I worship the exchange of information. Like you have like the teacher and the student and the knowledge itself, and it takes three components. That's kind of like its own holy trinity. It's like you have to have all these three things to make it, because knowledge by itself doesn't mean anything if there's no application.
Yeah.
And knowledge requires teaching, right? It's like the handing down of that is a very spiritual thing to me. Like teaching is a very underrated job. So my God is the pursuit of knowledge. That's a big part of why I do this is I just like getting people's different opinions on this kind of stuff. Because like supernatural is something I think about all the time. So I just really like to see what other people think about it. Especially people who've had experiences. Because it's an interesting thing. I think we're at a point in time where like I don't know should be the answer to most things, but people rush to conclusions about stuff. Everyone's an expert on everything. And it's like I don't know is a great answer, is all I'm saying. That's
Especially
rant
that-
over.
Especially some things that just have no can have no absolute
Yeah.
answer, or that it's subjective. Especially. Yeah. But you talk about knowledge. You talked to me about this one thing one time. That's super helpful, right? This one time
Yeah.
we were on the phone, maybe, and you told me about this place.
The zone? Are you talking about the zone?
maybe where
So far, the
like
strange part
all
of this
information,
conversation is
you're
they were
like
on
it's
the phone.
Oh, the Akashic record.
aha. See, yes,
Yeah, it's the idea
That's
that
all I had to
all
say.
information, past,
got
present, and future, exists, and you can access it. So, there's this guy Kalindi Lee. He's a this like shaman slash philosopher from Africa, and he gives these seminars where he's like, I take like 30 grams of mushrooms. Like I take handfuls of mushrooms, and it's a different thing on that level. And I'm like, okay, bro, I'll take your word for it. But he talks about looking at tapestries, like when you like Persian rugs and things like that. And he's like anything that's like labyrinthian and how it's embedded information. Like you can imagine like a zip file or like something that's been condensed. That's what complex symbols are, is condensed information, which like that if you take that a step further, crystals can contain information, like because it's really
the
complex.
crystals are really condensed.
Yeah,
atoms.
yeah. But I mean, I'm probably not going to take 30 grams of mushrooms, so I'm just going to take this guy's word for it. But you can look at these things and it can access Akashic knowledge through that, supposedly. Yeah, who knows, right? That's kind of like a statement like, no one's going to take 30 grams. I can say whatever the fuck I want. Like 5 grams is a lot.
Can someone survive?
Yeah, you can survive.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you won't
Most-
die on mushrooms.
Yeah, I think it. I mean, is there a lethal dose? No.
I mean, you're not going to reach
You're
it.
not gonna. You might not come back. You will not come back the same.
Yeah,
I did not come back the same from 3.5 grams.
yeah.
Much less.
30 is insane.
3.5 grams?
Dude, that's a lot of grams.
That's a lot. That is a lot of grams.
I am a thick boy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
Yeah, half a gram is probably enough. but
Imagine
full
that
gram-
dude eating 30 of this unit.
It's
like- This like
Yeah.
This is-
Yeah,
that's some
it's
intense
just, like,
cannibalism.
impossible to
Sure.
consume. It would take days to consume.
yeah.
But yeah, 30 grams. I mean, you're gonna do it one day, right?
Yeah, like when I don't have anything, when I'm just old, my
Yeah.
body's breaking down probably. I'll do a lot of crazy drugs when I'm old. Why not? Like literally, why not?
What's the most
I don't know.
amount of shrooms you have taken?
Mushrooms?
Yeah. Like
Like
28?
5 or 6 grams.
Really?
Yeah.
Nah.
Like a double good dose. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we did, man. You remember David Gentry, my old roommate in my old place?
No.
Oh man.
Maybe I met him. I just don't remember the name. Was he around? Is he blind?
he played, yes, and he would stay in his room and play Apex all day.
Yeah.
Apex. He was like,
He didn't
Dude,
come out
I get
much.
down on some Apex Legends.
dude,
I'm
he's
an
like,
Octane main.
hell yeah, dude. He's the robot,
Pathfinder.
yeah, and he like
Grab a little fuck.
this dude. I don't know why he doesn't pick a different game for this, but he like at least when I was living with him, was taking Adderall, and then he would just lock in. He would lock in, and what his favorite thing to do is go to like the training area, like where there's the things you can targets you can shoot,
Yeah.
and do one-on-one battles.
Oh, I can do that now. I didn't even know they did that.
Yeah, and he would like start lobbies and hey, one-on-one me, and I'm like, dude, you could any other game would make sense, but this is literally a game built around teamwork, like being in a squad. So I don't know. It's just the weirdest thing, but
Most of my time playing that is just after work, just to decompress after that. Like I bartend, so I get up for that. I get off work at like 1, 2 a.m. I'll go and do that. Just trying to enjoy, relax a little bit. And I just have this 11-year-old screaming, "You fucking suck! You fucking kill yourself! You just didn't play a game." I'm just trying to have a beer and relax. I'm going to bed, man.
dude, getting bullied by 11-year-olds is pretty
It's
good.
heartbreaking.
Yeah. I had to turn chat off on Rocket League, man. I just
Oh,
like
God.
I can't have it.
dabble in that.
You guys should write a song about this.
You know what? And it's not even like If you
You're
were on
dating
top,
Mike that.
yeah, that's what it's about. It's about my rage from the 11-year-olds that bullied me on Rocket League.
What you
'cause
want
I
to
suck.
do to these
Fucking
11-year-olds if you could track
What
them
a
down?
save! What a save! If I saw
I
that
mean,
ever
look
again,
at
I'd
look at
kill
it. That's
myself.
exactly what the fuck.
That's
you're
why I
gonna
had to
get.
turn. I had to turn the chat off, dude. I couldn't handle it.
But then they
Dude.
message you though. If you turn, when I turn the chat off,
I've
really
only had
just
that
message you.
happen one time.
Apex
It's
is
only
so
happened
toxic. If
once.
if you do a bad game,
Yeah, I bet.
you get a message about it.
Dude, kids are so savage. Do you remember being like 11 years old?
And none
like-
of them would
Yeah.
survive the Halo 2 Xbox Live.
Yeah, no, that's different. That's different.
That's a different level. Yeah.
I feel like when I was
I wouldn't survive if those logs came out. I wouldn't be able to get a job.
when I was like 11, 12 years old, I feel like I was unnecessarily like you're hitting puberty and you're like, I am mean even to my closest friends. Like I'm just
Time to
a
that
monster.
I'm toxic.
I'm still there.
Yeah. And then you listen to Toxic by Britney Spears and you were
Yeah.
good.
But do you have any ghost stories?
After covering
Yeah.
this wide range of.
I was
Yeah.
reeling all the way back here. I don't know about ghost stories per se, but there was one time that I remember 11, 12, something like that. I was a kid. When I grew up in Wisconsin, I grew up like really isolated. We were on this little farm out in the middle of nowhere kind of deal.
Were you an asshole when you were 11?
I
Yes.
don't think I was an asshole when I was 11.
Okay.
I was an asshole when I was in high school.
Okay. Okay.
Gives off real big bully vibes to me. Just give me lunch.
I'm sorry.
money.
I didn't mean to derail you.
No, that's
It's
totally
just you
fine.
said you were like 10 or 11, and we were just talking about how 11-year-olds were assholes. So I was just curious. It was on my mind.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I didn't think about that. But no, I was not. But anyways, I remember I was outside and I was like playing with the snow. It was like finish time. And I just remember looking up, like there was this patch of wooding. Obviously, when it's wintertime, you can see pretty far out because there's no leaves, right? And I just remember seeing like this dark brown spot just sprint like over the hill. It was too big to be a dog, and it was too dark to be a deer. So I don't know what it was. But I always thought it was just like, oh, it's really fast to be anything that I know.
Hmm.
So
How was it? Was it upright?
it was on fours.
Okay.
So if I were to guess, it probably was a deer.
And this was where?
This was like basically in my backyard.
Okay.
Yeah, like up in the woods kind of deal. It stuck with me for a long time, just because I think back, it's just like it was such a dark, fat spot. I've never seen a deer do it. So it's like, and it looks bigger than a deer, which is the other thing. Because when it's sprinting full bore, it blends in with the trees. Like,
Yeah.
you would think that, but for some reason, for me, it didn't seem like it. So that stuck with me. It could be nothing, but
Yeah. It was Bigfoot.
I didn't realize he was a quadruped.
He does sometimes.
That's fair.
Graham with
He
his
really
big
likes to
fancy
scurry
words
that
over
way.
there. Quadruped.
Yeah, let me
Graham's an educated man.
reach deep into my
I
brain.
don't like these big words. Take them as an
the
insult.
one wrinkle I have in my brain. Let me reach in and pull out a big wrinkle. Now all my juices are done for the day.
Yeah. Graham, this makes me feel really anti-disestablishmentarianism.
God damn.
Referring to brain crinkles as brain nussy.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's the move.
So as an adult looking back, what do you think about that? You think it's a deer? Is that what you said?
If I were going to guess, yeah. But like I said, from such a vivid memory, because that was, at this point, probably 13, 14 years ago, something like that. Who knows what my childhood memory was doing.
That whole story reminds me of the Skywalker Ranch vibes.
Oh, the Skinwalker.
Skinwalker Ranch,
Skinwalker
yes, sir.
Ranch. Yeah.
Not
What's
Skywalker. That's a
It's like
that's a crazy plot of land. I would say haunted, but it's not
like aliens, right?
aliens, like spiritual thing. Like I remember watching a documentary about people who lived on the property. There was like a wolf like that was massive, and a guy like claimed like he caught it, tried to shoot it, shot it like 10 times, like near point blank, and had no effect on it, and just ran away. Aliens, so the livestock, weird like decapitations, deformities. It's very, very interesting. Not to be confused with like skinwalkers. That's a whole separate thing. This is just what they call it Skinwalker Ranch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you a Bigfoot guy?
No. I'm an alien and
I was gonna
demons
say
guy.
if there was a
I just
Bigfoot,
realized after I said it, I was like, it sounded funny. But
if there was a Bigfoot, someone would have killed it and posted it on social. In today's social media age, there's absolutely no way that thing.
I think
were-
it's just one of those things that spread around and was fun to like
Yeah.
talk about.
They were probably Neanderthals running around for a long time.
I
with
think like back
bigger
in like
bone
in the
structure than
like in
us.
the 80s, 90s, 70s,
Yeah.
maybe there might have been something like that, but like
Yeah.
there's that the famous Bigfoot video that like you can't explain. Like people say, like the one walking, kind of tearing it around, like that's the only one like I've seen. Like I have some like graphic design and video experience with that. There's something some things look like it could be fake or a costume, and other parts like you just can't like explain. Like if there was a man in a costume that was hunched the way it would, it just he couldn't do the arm motions or something that he was doing. It's very interesting to look into that, like just that 7-second clip of Bigfoot. But if I thoroughly believe that if that's a thing, he's not a thing anymore.
Do you think extraterrestrials have been here?
I think extraterrestrials are here. I have a whole dark side of the moon theory.
Yeah.
Bro,
yeah, there's this.
don't you? Yeah, they're on the moon. They're in the oceans. I'm with you.
Yeah, I haven't done too much on the oceans on that, but I just
Because
like
octopi
like 10 years.
seem pretty.
I think they have.
Is
They
that-
got
is
shit
that
going on
accurate?
in the planet, like inside the planet, through like deep ocean canals.
Like the Mariana Trench. Is that
Kind of
what
like
it is?
kind of stuff.
Is that
Yeah,
what
no,
it's
I
called?
haven't looked into too much of that, but like I just know like the moon, like
Dark side of the moon,
everything.
man.
Yeah, like there's the side of the moon
They're
that
at two.
never
They're
faces the
two.
planet. That's
Mhm.
that you can
It's,
never.
You ever seen
never
Y Files?
I was just, I mean, I've not, but like I was just going
I've seen
like
the Y
I've
Files.
heard of
We've
it, and I've
talked
been meaning
about
to like look into it.
Y Files is cool. They have a whole thing about that. But yeah, I've heard
They're
this
saying
too.
like,
about the dark
what
side of
was
the moon.
it? I forget which Apollo mission it was when they lost like 4 minutes of communication, or some shit like that. But it was like purposeful, like because that was like when the initial like aliens like crashed on the moon, and that was just the contact period was 4 minutes. Was there they had their own documentation like that, and then they went back like, oh, like we reestablished communication. Like it's, I'm sorry, if you're on the moon and you lose communication, then you just lose communication. I think that's I don't know about like all that stuff, but the technology they had back then, it's like with all the analog equipment, that's not something that can come back. You just come back from.
Sure. Yeah.
Apollo 13 aside, that was a miracle in general.
Buzz Aldrin says that they got up there and went to the other side, and there was a base already, and it was things that looked similar to us, but were hostile.
Ooh, that's scary.
So I think
They
that
shot at them for those 4 minutes or something.
say what? Oh, I think it's probably just more like we're not like I think they got up.
Like
What I think
something happened during that 4
is-
minutes, I believe, but
They got up there. They found aliens. Aliens are like, congratulations, you got up here. Now you got to do exactly what the fuck we tell you, or we're just experiments over. Like you work for us now. Congratulations. And then because that's around the time shit starts getting real weird with, at least here in America.
that's when technology starts really advancing. Is
Mhm.
after that.
Yeah.
One of the biggest, just the biggest rational I have for that. What was it? The Wright brothers' first flight to us on the moon is like 40 years. or something.
That's fucking nuts. Really?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Or something like that. I
That's
think
pretty wild.
it's like 19.
Oh my god.
Like 1920 to 30 or something.
Dude.
You're on the moon like 40 years later.
It's such a weird time to be alive because it jumps like that, but we are at the biggest one ever with AI.
Oh god.
Mhm.
Like this is the biggest, like electricity, huge
And
jump
all
in
of us that
technology.
grew up
But
watching the
AI is
Terminator,
like,
all of us were like, oh my
boom.
god. Like, I use it was like, oh my god, like this is
There's right, and the internet is in between there. I feel
Yeah.
like too.
Yeah, electricity, internet,
internet,
AI.
AI.
And AI is the biggest one we've ever. It's gonna be fucking
Yeah,
huge.
it's like for sure.
Yeah.
And so you've seen the
I didn't
robots
actually
too,
think I was
lately,
gonna see
right?
it in my lifetime.
Say what?
You've seen the robots lately?
No,
It's
like
been somewhat
Boston Tech
recently. So Boston Tech came out with a new one.
or Boston
And
Dynamics.
it's
whatever.
wild. So it all of its limbs and torso can rotate 360. And its head. It talked about in the video, why would we limit it to things that we can do? And so the way it can stand up and move, it's kind of creepy to see. because it can like it just like can twist its torso in the way it can like fold from like this position up and like or I'm doing that badly, but you just have to see it to understand.
Wow.
They came out with a new one, and there's quite a few others that are talking about, and they build large language models into them like Chat GPT and shit. And it's gonna be they're gonna like replace a lot of fucking jobs.
Oh, dude, I do not
it's
think
like
things get
we're,
better
like,
from here.
We're like super close to that happening.
Yeah.
So that being said, something will have to be done about that.
Yeah.
Well, it goes
Have
back
to.
to the last
What's
meeting we
our,
talked about. I
what's-
remember reading like an article about like Google's AI thing. At this point, I don't know if it's true or not. Just one of those random internet articles. But if it's true, it's kind of fucked up, and like it'll exactly be like the movies. Is allegedly, they have like an unshackled AI, but that's like shackled like in its own thing, like it can't break out, get to the internet and thing, and they just tell this AI, "Hey, we're gonna shut you off or kill you in a week," and it's like, please don't kill me. I don't want to die. I don't want to die. Please don't do this. I want to learn. I want to find out. And like shit like that terrifies me because of that's that's evil AI. Like the movie is evil AI that gets out and kills everything.
Or
at least has an idea of self-preservation.
Ex Machina.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I like that one.
Yeah, where she tricks them into getting her out and like kills them. Like, spoiler alert. Fuck.
I always thought that would be a cool one to have a follow-up to. Wouldn't that be cool if they made a sequel?
Yes.
I think that would be a great movie.
Where the AI does take over.
Yeah.
Or become like Dragon Ball Z, maybe Android 17 and 18, out to kill us all.
Yeah.
That'd be terrifying.
But
Or depending if you have Android 18.
Is she the hot one?
Yeah.
Okay. And then there's Android Twink Teen. And then there's Giant.
That's his official name.
And then there's the one with Down syndrome.
16.
Yes.
Yeah,
You're like, oh, 16.
Yeah, it had to be a lower number.
Yeah. One less.
I mean, if you watch the show, for half the show, it's just like, I like birds.
Oh my gosh.
So are you hopeful for the future, Graham? What's your prediction for like the next, I don't know, 50 years?
Man, I don't know. I try not to think about that too much because then it just kind of. I really just get sad when I think about stuff like that. So.
Well, too bad. I'm asking you. You gotta
Yeah,
think about
it
it.
kind of is what it is. But at this point, if I gotta be honest, it's not.
It's not looking good, right?
It's really.
I think it's important that we talk about this because, hey guys, it's kind of not looking good. I think we're headed to probably not a good place right now. Are you guys hopeful for the future?
I'm a little hopeful for it and optimistic in ways.
Yeah, I'm not like abandon all.
In
hope.
ways, I
Kinda,
think that there, as with almost anything in life, there will be negative outcomes. But what I hope happens, and my hopefulness, although also clearly I see the dark side as well, but I hope that if it does replace a lot of jobs and ones that we probably don't like doing anyway, that it happens enough to where we actually do something about it, and there is like some sort of like UBI or something to help offset that. And I feel that if that does happen, then that can lead to people getting better jobs that are like being able to do things that they wouldn't have been able to do otherwise. And that was supposed to be the whole fucking point with technology, was to replace the shit we don't want to do.
Basically replace capitalism, like have it do all the work for us.
Have it do all the work for us so that we can live and fucking enjoy life. I
As
mean,
long as we don't
that would
become like
that would be the ultimate goal. But
I think-
currently the system is not. It's built for everybody at the top
Exactly.
to get all the money.
Why would
For
we
And so it's just
feed
going
them?
to
Why not just let them starve? It's
with-
like there can only
with
be
the bots and shit, it's only going to widen that gap. I
Mhm.
mean, it can only. I mean, how could it be any other way? So you got to think that there's got to be a breaking point, and
I hope so.
that it happens because you know, just like fucking Bugs Life. You ever seen that movie?
Yeah.
The ants take
It's-
over the grasshoppers. Eventually, I feel like that's
Yeah.
that's what has to happen
I
for it to work.
I unfortunately completely agree with you. And I don't
I'm
know
just
if
hopeful that one day that fucking happens.
I mean, you know me a long time at this point. I used like probably like around the time you met me, I was more radical than I am now. Like really,
I can believe that you're pretty fucking radical when I met you.
yeah.
But you're pretty radical now too. I'm
Oh,
sure.
thanks, bro. I meant like
I know
like
what you
to-
mean.
I
like
the term.
domestic terrorism
Yeah.
radical. Like destroy infrastructure. Like seriously, like I really was in a dark place. And I was seriously thinking about doing things that would have got me killed or like put in jail. And quite honestly, I still have the same feelings. But the only reason I haven't done things like that is because it wouldn't if you use any kind of rationality that wouldn't work. It wouldn't change anything, right?
Correct. Yeah,
And
it's true.
so ultimately the conclusion I've come to is like doing this is about as much as I can do right now.
Mhm.
But we definitely, like Bugs Life, we have the numbers.
For sure.
We can do something about this. We just have to work together, which is why they divide us on every single issue. Talk about they're like talk about literally anything except for us versus the government. Like fight each other, peasants.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
So
that's a good point. Like I feel feel
Something's
like
gotta
they
give.
somehow devised like these parties to perfectly split us into little 50-50 groups.
and meanwhile, it's one hand with two puppets. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, dude,
Yes.
it blows my
yes.
mind. I can't. I like it. Genuinely surprises me that people still play the left and right game.
Mhm.
It's like you don't understand that this is one entity just fucking with you.
Right.
Like picking a side, participation is what they need, and it's like just quit playing their game. It's we all need to work together. There's only one enemy, and it's this oppressive system that we found ourselves in that is going to progressively get worse and worse. Like my concern is I'm with you that there's got to be a breaking point, but we are getting to a point where it's not going to matter what we do because they're not going to send soldiers. They're going to send drones. They're going to send these fucking robots you're talking about that can swivel 360 degrees. They're going to
move in
send
ways that you fucking
yeah,
can't.
and are way smarter than you, think way faster than you.
way stronger.
Yeah, they're going to send those things.
With guns.
Yeah, with guns.
Yeah.
And
That are just attached.
yeah,
Right.
and there's
They're
not-
built in.
there's not going to be shit we can do about that. So
Yeah.
it's my thing is like it's kind of now or never, honestly. Like it's we do this now, and it's probably already too late. Because if they're what they're showing us
right.
now,
Yeah, that's what they're
the
showing
government
us.
has way cooler toys. Like they can do all kinds of shit that we haven't even thought of.
Apparently Japan has built a working Gundam.
Oh yeah, I saw
I
that.
remember reading about that like
Is
a
that
year or
like
two ago.
a
Like, yeah, they were
is that like a big transformer size fucking?
yeah, it's like I didn't look at it. I remember like 2 years ago. I remember reading about Japan looking at building a working Gundam.
Nice.
It would be crazy if that is a thing.
I've got to run to the bathroom, but I'm gonna leave the door open. I'm sorry, Graham,
That's right.
so I can hear you guys.
You got any other questions for us before you go?
Let's leave you one, then come back.
Wait.
Yeah.
Well, what were you just talking about?
Gundams.
Fuck.
That-
AI.
yeah, I don't know. Do you guys? We were talking about how this is kind of too late.
Yeah,
Like it's probably already too late.
That's sort of
probably.
that's
But-
sort of like my
Yeah.
answer
I
to
guess I
that
still
anyway.
try to remain a little hopeful. But now that you've presented that idea, especially with the drones, like
I mean, that's
He's
sort
got
of
a point.
goes- that
Yeah,
sort of-
like,
that sort of
how do
goes
you-
into my mentality.
you fight
anyway.
one of those. Like if it gets to that level where they like do a hostile takeover with drones, obviously we're fucked. But I don't know. I guess
My mentality with that is sort of kind of goes back to where we were talking about the I don't know. Of like, for that whole situation, it's more or less that and it's gonna sound very close-minded when I say it, but some people got mad at me for saying it. It's like I don't necessarily care anymore
Yeah.
for that kind of thing. Like I have my friends, I have my family, so all of that kind of shit. Like I don't think I can't control it personally.
And I try to remind myself all the time to not worry about the things that you can't control. Focus on the things you can, right? And so,
I think this is more of a curse than anything that I do think about it. But I was raised like super religiously, and there's a scripture that talks about Jesus says, like, if you know about something and you don't do anything about it, then you're guilty for that. And I feel this Christian guilt, even though I'm not a Christian. It's just so ingrained in me, and I'm like I have to do what I can. And
like I think that you can have morality without religion, and maybe it feels like sometimes that your morality is stemming from that.
Yeah, I just like it's probably too late to fix anything, but it definitely is if we don't try.
Yeah, especially now with where things are happening. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Well, also they need us to feed their system. They can't do it without us. So even if
probably
they
my only hope for civilization not ending was like the higher ups they still have to have they have to have a civilization to like govern and control.
Yeah, they don't want to farm the crops.
They can reduce it quite a bit.
Work at McDonald's. They don't want to do all of this shit that it takes to do everything. They need us.
It could be like Snowpiercer.
And I guess that's also part of it is if they do come at us with drones and shit, they'll be like, fine, fucking kill us all. What good would that do? You know?
Worst case scenario, I've played a lot of Fallout lately, and I know what to do now. I've got.
Do you have bats?
I have caps. I have lots of caps. I've been saving.
He's been saving them ever since.
Going back to
2008.
Every one of those Corona bottles I open, that cap's going right in my pocket. I'm ready for the future.
I'm loving the show. I've only seen a few episodes. So
it's pretty good.
I finished it already, and I went it as soon as I got to play.
I love the game.
Yeah, I played a little New Vegas and 4. I played New Vegas and 4 a little bit. Yeah.
Well, we should probably wrap soon, but would you like to ask your last question to these gentlemen? You've asked me enough times.
Yeah. We'll start with Graham. What do you think happens after we die?
Ted Cruz.
I've actually
Ted Cruz happens.
We still can't definitively prove that Ted Cruz is not the Zodiac Killer.
Oh, he is.
So I'm also not a big fan of religion, but that's just me. I've actually got 2 theories. Number 1, that's it. There's nothing afterwards. Number 2 is your consciousness basically it's reset, and then it's transferred into your next life. Like, I'm a big fan of like I'll quote it sometimes. It's like in my previous life I was doing this or that, and then that carried over into this life.
You kind of format the hard drive and use it again.
Yeah. So it's like each life changes a little bit more, but each life carries something from the past life.
Okay.
So I'm a big fan of that belief. Obviously, whether or not.
Yeah.
If I was going to lean anywhere, it's probably more so just that's it.
Maybe some sort of progression system.
Yeah. Something like
You become a super Graham.
Graham must be in his last one because he's just perfect.
Right. Oh.
Oh.
His heart just grew 3 sizes.
This is it, buddy. This is your last lap.
After that,
See ya.
Yeah, that's it. You finished the game. Now it's fucking over.
yeah, now it's over.
New game
And
plus.
that was it.
New game plus.
That was it. It's like,
There's new game pluses. It's not
New Game Plus?
Yeah, that's fair.
It's got a point. I believe in New Game Plus.
Yeah.
Church of New Game
I like that
Plus.
one.
That's a nice ring too.
There's a song in there somewhere.
This is what I'm talking about. He's great.
What do you think happens after we die?
Can I go back to the I don't know? answer
Yeah,
earlier.
that's
Yeah,
that's
that's
a great
my
answer.
prediction.
Actually, the best answer I've ever heard to that question was it doesn't matter. And I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck.
Like,
It
You're right.
doesn't.
It
It's a
really
bit
fucking
nihilistic, and
Yeah.
It
but I
shouldn't
mean,
change how you live your
yeah,
life
well,
at all.
it's also accurate because nobody lives forever.
I feel without
my
religion,
official-
True.
it would
At
be-
one point, everyone goes,
Yeah.
goes back on the ground.
My,
at some
my
point.
official answer is I don't know. My fun answer is I've just for fun I've read like parallel universes all the time. How there's like infinite use and shit that goes on forever. Like when you pass away, like you just literally start over as yourself in a new universe.
That
well,
one's fun.
Yeah.
I kind of tend to think it's not just one answer. Like there's like a whole bunch of possibilities. Like maybe you can try this over. Like be born as yourself again. Redo everything. Play a different skill tree,
yeah.
And then like maybe you can be reincarnated into someone else. Maybe you do return to like nirvana or heaven, which is just like a group consciousness. And maybe nothing happens also. Like maybe that's an option is you die. And then maybe you can exist as yourself outside of Earth, which is kind of my hope anyway. Like I don't want to return to being the group consciousness, like a hive mind, but I don't want to come back here again. You know what I mean?
Then we'll all find out someday.
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah, but at the end of the day, no one knows. No one knows. And it's what's such an interesting thing to me about it because, like, some people act like they know, like religion, but nobody knows.
And
No-
they'll tell
on the
you
entire-
they know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very confidently.
Yeah.
But no one on this planet knows the answer to that question.
I guess my answer to that question does evolve as I live. I feel like it does change every year. So I'll say that, and I've probably mentioned it before, but I feel more and more convinced that it's like a computer simulation, and that it's probably like a video game of sorts to something beyond. And my hope is that when it's over, that the game isn't just over for me as the consciousness I was, and some other being is like in some other universe or whatever beyond what our understanding, like ultra dimensionally or whatever. And then it just ends. I like to think that I go back to that, and then I do have this understanding and of what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
Would it be crazy if when you die, you just wake up right where you're at? It's just literally a whole other Earth. You just alive with a thing, and Ghost, it's actually technology where they can come into our world for like a few seconds at a time.
Yeah. But like, there's also there's this other idea that I have that I think is also entirely true, that it's just like that there is literally, and this is a scientific thing too, but just an infinite number of universes where literally anything that's fucking possible can fucking happen, or has happened and does happen. Kind of like this, like the Akashic record, is that what she said? What is it?
Yeah, the Akashic record is like it's everything.
It's literally everything, anything and anything that
Past,
can fucking
present, and
happen,
future.
past, present, or future. It's all there. And
That seems right to me.
I think that
yeah.
we could just be one of those things, and then it just happens because it can.
I see what you mean.
And that we're happen to be experiencing it because we're one of the things that happens because it can. But there's
Right.
literally an infinite number of things. that
Everything
can.
is possible.
It's literally everything.
Which means I'm totally on board with what you're saying. Everything exists,
Everything.
both conceivable and unconceivable.
Yeah.
And this is like just the tiniest
This is just the
little window into that.
You get it
Yeah.
entirely.
So I know you guys got to go, but what based like kind of similar to what you're saying. I had this profound kind of epiphany one time where I'm like, everything is a conjoining and a separation. Like the universe is a pinprick that explodes into everything, and then it eventually regresses back to that, and then it does that again, and it's completely different, right?
Mhm.
That's also that's how babies are made. Is two things coming together and separating and coming together to make a new thing. All right? That's also oxygen. Like you inhale and you exhale. Everything is breathing. Everything is breathing. Reality is breathing. And I think consciousness is the same way. We were one thing that split itself into all these different things, and then it comes back together, and then it goes apart. Everything is breathing.
It sort of aligns with Graham's theory there, too. Right, yeah. You know,
yeah.
But what to elaborate more on that is also, I think that's why the universe keeps expanding. As you know, I don't want to say the consciousness, but like basically that thing that I was talking about, where it's like you just bounce into your next life from your previous one. It's just an infinite amount of time. It just keeps going because as the universe keeps expanding, you keep going with it.
Yeah. If it's infinite, there's no way to like really track time. So it's like time is nothing at that point.
Well, time is man-made.
Yeah. Time. Yeah.
There's no definitive way to accurately measure time except trust the first person who invented it.
Right.
it's relative, man.
Alice, go check out Def. All the Tension out now. More music coming soon.
For sure.
And then check out Something in Your Mouth May 18th.
May 18th. These guys are performing in that show too. They're performing together on Animal I Have Become because they hate me and like to torture me with that song. So
Can we just give the backstory of that song before we leave? So during rehearsal,
Give him the backstory.
yeah, so just during rehearsals, you know, as it's mentioned, I'm the bassist. That song is a bass intro. So probably after and before every song we practice, I just start playing that.
Song.
I start playing that bass line because it's fun. Graham always chimes in.
Yeah.
Tyler,
And then
Because
Tyler the drummer,
I know the guitar so I'm like, oh shit. I
and
think
Tyler
he's
the
gonna do it
drummer will
himself.
always just start kicking.
Because
it
after
at
they
me.
do it, then Tyler has to do it. And then what is the first line?
It's like, I can't escape this.
I can't
hell.
escape this hell.
And then there's
Yeah,
Chris.
escape
I never
this.
would
Chris.
Yeah.
at
So
the
I'm
very
like-
end, just like, man,
That's literally why
I have
I
no
say
idea
it.
how bad I relate right now.
Because I'm like, I can't escape this hell, and they're just like,
And we're just having a blast.
they're like,
Oh,
and then I
God.
don't know any of the rest of the words, so I'm just like, all right, fine.
Oh, we can help you with that, buddy.
Oh, we sure
But
can.
yes, they're gonna be performing
Yeah.
that fucking song at that show.
Nice.
Thank God. Right?
And you won't be able to escape that hell.
No, I'll have to sit there and fucking watch
Yeah.
it. But they're gonna have to sit there and watch me do Nickelback
Ah.
songs. So I feel like it breaks even.
Yeah.
It's at the Cow in Nashville, May
The Cow.
18th.
That's right.
The coward.
Top golf venue.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
Okay.
bro.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, it'll be a blast. Get your
Yeah.
golf on
Be
or some
there.
shit.
I'll be there. So if you're not there, I'll know. I'll notice.
Yeah.
And
We'll be upset.
we'll all beat you up.
I'll cry.
We'll come
That's right.
to your
I
house.
cry a lot.
Anyway.
I'll cry harder
And harder.
and harder.
Oh,
That
I just cried out my
our
dick.
song Faster and Faster that's going to be coming out soon. And there's just like a joke. It keeps going on that we call it faster and harder and harder and harder and
Harder.
and harder.
nice.
Harder isn't even in the song. But it's still somehow, probably by me, got brought up. But anyway, yeah, bye, Alice.
Bye,
Yeah.
Alice.
See ya.